Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about the different kinds of security threats the Plixer platform can detect, whether that's viewing those events by their MITRE tactic and techniques, or just the overall stance of your network at any point in time. A full analytic stack of both deterministic algorithms and stochastic algorithms power the security insights on the Plixer platform. Found under Admin, Alarm Monitor, Flow Analytic Algorithms, we'll find all of the deterministic algorithms that run locally on the collectors of the Plixer platform. Here, we'll find all of the things that transfer between environments. For example, a SIN scan or a DDoS in my environment is going to be the same kind of behavior exhibited when those things happen in your environment as well. In the case of each of these algorithms, we can drill into them and see we can include a separate input domain where we're actually sourcing data from. We can apply entire batches of input data via security groups, which we'll talk about in a separate video. We can put in individual exclusions for hosts that may belong to groups on the network, like network scanners, or public Wi-Fi zones that maybe have different regulations. What policies we want to be notified by when events are triggered from this algorithm, and ultimately a settings category. While these first areas will be consistent across all of the algorithms, this settings category will differ per algorithm with unique parameters that define exactly what that individual algorithm is looking for. For example, in the case of DDoS, we're looking for statistical similarity from a stream of packets of a certain count from a certain amount of unique hosts, ultimately describing a situation where it appears as though a lot of very similar, possibly artificial traffic is being sent in an availability attack against an individual on your network from high cardinality of sources. Similarly, something like reflective DDoS, we can see that under settings we have different options. A list of common UDP services that are used for amplification attacks, as well as the flow imbalance that we want to see between UDP requests and receipt of data. While subtle, this is the kind of a powerful dynamic of using flow data for security analytics, is the idea of keeping a UDP imbalance ratio for every host on the network is otherwise something that would be very computationally intensive and turns into kind of a simple algorithm for applying against flow data. But as you can see, this list goes on from everything to host reputation checks, where we check IP addresses against your IOC list or our provided IOC list, down to more common things. Somebody found Nmap yesterday, and they're trying out various new scan types. There's a detection for basically everything you'll find there. So this area, again, this was Admin, Alarm Monitor, Flow Analytic Algorithms, will again find us all of the deterministic analytics that live on the platform. For users of Plixer One Enterprise that have access to the ML Engine component, we can find the stochastic analytics here under Admin, Alarm Monitor, ML Dimensions. When we talk about ML Dimensions, what we're thinking about are port and protocol combinations that represent commonly used applications on the network. You'll see three categories in this section. Client, where we're focusing obviously on the client in the case of DNS, client on UDP53, traffic. Net categories, where we're looking at aggregate traffic. These are intended to be applied to network interfaces, where we can watch for anomalous characteristics, again, in that kind of composite aggregate data. And then finally, server, focusing on the server side of a conversation. So in many cases, these server profiles applied against high traffic servers do a great job, both profiling that server, as well as by contrast, all of the kind of clients that connect to it. So the machine learning engine is studying kind of the usage of known port and protocols. We're ultimately looking for deviations in behavior among what's normally exhibited by the hosts on your network. So along these dimensions, if we navigate back to Admin, Alarm Monitor, ML Rules, we'll actually find which hosts we want to apply all of those dimensions to. So in this first page, we can enter individual hosts. In the upper right-hand corner, we see a navigation panel. We can click Add and Go in either at an individual host or anything down to a /24 subnet. We can choose a sensitivity for how closely we want the similarity scores and effectively the threshold that bounds around the known behavior clusters. Do we want to turn on our tree-based malware detection where we go out, detonate some malware in a lab, find very deterministic characteristics about those things, and then deploy a classification tree model to identify those things in the wild, and then ultimately a global enable-disable for that host. And what that does is includes that host or that subnet into the profiling system on the machine learning engine. And we begin to build those behavioral clusters again around all of the dimensions we saw in the previous view. Alternatively, from this view, we can toggle it over to by exporter. In this case, we're talking about our network infrastructure. So we can go in, select one of those devices, and enable it. That will begin the machine learning engine's task of modeling the traffic that it's seeing over its interfaces and aggregate. Ultimately, once all those systems are up and running, there's a local SIM view here under Alarm Monitor where we can see the kind of analytic intermediates that are being generated by both the deterministic and stochastic analytics stack on the platform. These can either be triaged from here or more commonly forwarded along to a SIM to fall into a known workflow.